All right, domain and range. Domain is your x values. Range is your y values. These are kind of like your inputs and your outputs. It's not outputs. Outputs. There you go. Just think of it like your function. If you have f of x equals 3x plus 4, you're going to input some x values, like a 1. And then it's going to spit out a 7. So input, output. Okay? Alright, so the domain here, what's your x's? So you write a little set brace, and it's 2, 4, and 5. So set braces are like the math form of a bag that just contains our elements. You don't want to just randomly write numbers out there. You want to put them in a bag. And there's your range, and that would be 3, -1, and 3. Now, since we're just telling what are the different numbers that are in for the y values, we don't need to write them twice. So don't write repetitions. Alright, so try to find the domain and the range for each of these functions. Make sure you put them in set braces. Hit pause now. Alright, and there's what you should have gotten. So no repetition for your domain there. It's just -1 and 2. And then there's the rest. Alright, even if you write it in this form, it's still the same thing. If you write it as an XY table, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Those are your x values. And your range is -1, -2, 3, 4, and 5. And that's it. So write your domain and range for that one. And there you go. There's your domain and there's your range. Okay, so on these we're going to write them in interval notation. Now I know these look like points, so when you write your domain first, it would be quarters of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, with a range of 460, 452, 474, 483.3, and 466. Okay, but the revenue in dollars is increasing and decreasing. I mean, you could set them as points, but to get a better picture of it, we're going to put it in an interval. So for our domain, our quarters go from 1 to 5. So we're going to put 1 to 5. Start to finish. Remember, brackets include the values, parentheses do not. And our range, now we need to find the smallest value. It's this one. That's our smallest. So it's going to go from 452 to, what's our largest? Largest. 483.3. This way we know that our revenue is going to be between, or so far has been between 452 million and 483.3 million. It just gives us a nice picture of it. So even though these are still fixed points right now, we can write them as an interval. We can't write these because they are just a number of points. We need an equation to base them on, or a graph, which is what we have here. So on each of these, you can't just write points now. Here you can. Here you can't. You can't just pick out some points and say that's the domain. So what we need to do is include every single x value. So for the domain, we'll focus on that. We're going to do that in green. You want to put a line for the smallest of the x, just like we did here. Smallest is 1, largest is 5. So the smallest for the x would be all the way to the left. And if you follow your graph, you want to find the point that is the most to the right, and it's right there. And then go right to the x-axis, because we need our x values here. So the smallest one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. -5, and it does include it. And the largest goes to here, but it's not 4, that's an arrow. And arrows mean infinity. And we always have to have a parenthesis. So if it's an arrow over here, that's infinity. If it's an arrow over here, that's negative infinity. Alright? So I want you to just find the domain for each of these. I want the far left point to the far right point. Give it a shot. Hit pause now. So the first point is -6. The second point was 2. And notice it's an open dot, which means we cannot include it. That's a closed dot, and you must include it. So just a quick review, bracket, parenthesis. Okay? So try that one. If you notice there's no open dots, which means you're going to have brackets on there. And that's what you should have gotten. Alright, let's try the Y now, and we're going to do that one in, I think we'll pick blue. So we want the smallest Y, just like before. You pick that smallest one first. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's right down here. It's our smallest. And that's our largest. So our smallest down here to our largest. Our smallest is an arrow. So for our range, we have negative infinity. Remember, always parenthesis with the infinities. And the largest is infinity with a parenthesis. That's it. Let's do one more. So right here is our smallest to our largest. Remember, up is larger with Y. So the smallest is -2. And the largest is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Oops, that one's a bracket. Sorry about that. Let's erase that. Bracket, because it's equal. Largest is a parenthesis. And there you go. Alright, so try the big oval over here. See if you can find the range for it. Hit pause. And that's what you should have gotten. So the lowest point, the smallest point is -6. And the largest point, the highest point is 6. And that's your range. Alright, thank you.